Yeah, tough weekend in St. Cloud there. Really was hoping to get a win up there, but obviously fell short a little bit on both nights. Came back, and now we got a bye weekend this weekend, so our first break since Christmas. So I think it comes at a very good time just to let the guys recharge a little bit here. We'll still practice hard this week, but also have a couple days off where we'll let the bodies heal up. And we got a couple guys that are banged up, so nice to let them recover a little bit, and then get ready for North Dakota here the following weekend.
I thought your comments after the game were pretty appropriate, just when you said that you're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's one thing to recognize that; it's another thing to get there. Just expanding on that thought, what does it take now over these last 3 series to get to maybe where you want to be into the postseason now that we're kind of short seasoning it here?
Yeah, it takes a lot of attention to detail here in the final stages, and like we kind of talked about after the weekend there, you saw you're at the games where you're right there for spurts of it, and then you get a couple opportunities to capitalize, and you have to capitalize on one of those opportunities. With a team that plays like that in their home rink, over time they're going to get opportunities. They're going to wear you down with their ozone time and the way they play and the type of skill level they have and mobility that they have. So you really have to have a game plan where you're trying to, stay up with them, keep competitive with them as much as you can, and then capitalize on a few opportunities when you get a chance. So again, this weekend with these opponents we face, you have to dial in your details. You have to dial in every little thing that matters, whether it's your habits or certain concepts, but really take it to heart and execute it, because there's going to be that one point in a game that it's going to matter, and that's the difference. We score one of those games, maybe it's a different game. We're afforded one win. So that's kind of our just back to some fundamentals this week, kind of getting back established, working a lot of skill, a lot of passing, work on our conditioning as well. We want to be the best shaped team coming down the stretch here, because when you start playing some D zone, like we'll have to play against some of these top teams, it's tiring. So we want to work on those things and just making sure we're fully prepared at every situation that we might face here in the last 3 series.
Psychologically, was it good on that Saturday night when it got to 3-0, to get back to 3-2 and you had the power play to try to get even, considering the way the last couple Saturdays have gone on the road when you've gotten behind? I mean, those other couple, it kind of snowballed at that point, but they really seemed to stay mentally tough and get back in it.
I thought that was good. I thought that's a little sign of growth from our team, and where you're a little bit fragile because you're playing these top teams, and you're there but not quite there yet, and then when teams get rolling a little bit, especially in loud hostile environments too, like St. Cloud's a pretty loud building, or North Dakota or things like that, you can kind of get feeling sorry for yourself a little bit, and then start watching, and then it's bad news from there. So nice to see our guys respond, and we had that power play to make it 3-3, and we ran a play and it was right there to put it in, and we just missed it. So nice to see our guys come back and kind of have that feeling a little bit that they can keep coming back and continue to press and continue to stay involved in the game, because as down the stretch you're going to be up or down the stretch, and you got to figure out ways to get yourself back in the hockey game, and to not start watching and not to feed into the other team's way they play the game. So it was nice to see us come back for a little bit of a spurt there on Saturday.
When you look at the last 3 series now, I think you're a couple wins from third place, but you got a couple teams below you that could be a couple wins and put you down toward the bottom. I mean, how do you keep these guys focused when so much is up for grabs still the rest of the way?
Yeah, again, I think it's just the task at hand. Really stay focused on the task at hand. I don't know what ranked we're going into, or how many ranked opponent in a row. So every week's kind of the same. You're preparing for such a good opponent, and that's the case. And these guys are smart. They know the standings. They know how the 3-point games, they're 6-point games realistically here down the stretch, and so you just gotta pick something to focus on for the week. I think it's always good to have, whether it's a daily focus for practice, but some type of objective where we're really focusing on that, to give the guys, maybe that more tunnel vision on just getting better at something rather than worrying too much about the future. And even as a coach, you don't want to start playing games where we win this one, we lose this one, what happens here? So just got to get better. We got to make improvements in our game. We got to get physically better shape to help ourselves down the stretch here, and make sure that we're the ones on the right side of that one opportunity, or that one block shot, or that one battle down low that could be the difference in a series.
We were just piggybacking on what you said about the number of times in a row. I think this one from Ryan Dave will be 9 in a row. Is it good to have this week now to, if nothing else, just refresh the minds to get ready to go again, must be to get to that level every single week.
I think so. I think we gave the guys Monday off, and we'll get another day off this week. And then I just, even from a coaching standpoint, right, to give your staff a bit of a breather and catch your breath a little bit. And when you're preparing for a top opponent every week, the amount of volume of work that goes into that, plus recruiting is, we got back at whatever time and we had to recruit on Sunday, so there's no sleep and it gets tiring. So, and at this time of year, same with the players, they got school, they got all that other stuff going on too. So I think sometimes a day off can be a refreshing kind of reset for the guys too. So we got to monitor that, and we're fortunate to have, Gorshi with the strength and conditioning keeps us up to date on how everybody's feeling. We have our captains meetings and keep a good pulse on how those guys are feeling. But I think we really got to use this week for recovery too. We've had some guys battling through some injuries all through since Christmas, and nice to let them get healed up and all that good stuff. So it's just a good reset week for everybody. I think everybody needs a break. Everybody loves each other around here, but it's always nice to get a little break from each other. And so it's I think it's a nice week to do that.
Denver had an extra week before you guys came in, and obviously, they had a great weekend at their building. You guys have an extra week now with North Dakota coming in to your place. Can you use that as kind of a blueprint, like say, hey, this obviously worked out, look what happened when we went to DU, let's do the same thing to these guys?
Yeah, those bye weeks are always a little scary. Sometimes you feel like you come out a little flat, sometimes you feel like you come out really charged up. And so again, we have to strategically plan this week to make sure that guys are really hungry to get going on Friday night against North Dakota and feel charged up, feel super healthy, explosive, ready to get going. So I thought Denver did a nice job of that. You could tell on Friday night they were buzzing around when they played us, and so we got the same game plan in mind. And like you said, like we talked about earlier, I think the guys are thinking that this is the perfect time for a little breather and catch up and still practice hard, but also have some downtime where you can let your body recover and get a couple workouts in and some stuff that you can't usually get when you're so busy with your normal schedule.
Obviously, North Dakota pretty well already, but can this extra bye week give you coaches some more time to maybe scout some more North Dakota film that you haven't noticed before? Yeah,
absolutely. It's always nice to be able to have a little bit more free time to pre-scout your opponent, and they're playing Colorado College this weekend too, so that'll be a nice game to watch online a little bit and see. Obviously, those are our next two opponents, so nice to see them play at North Dakota here in an NHL rink and see what their latest systems are and what they're doing for their tendencies. So really is nice to have that ability to pre-scout them, make sure our guys are prepared, and then also work on ourselves as well.
It's kind of recruiting time around here for a lot of different sports for us and what we're covering. And just kind of looking back at some of the commitments that you guys have gotten. And then you kind of look back and right when you started here or toward the year maybe before that, there was a lot more of a lull between commitments. Mm-hmm. And you guys have obviously picked up that effort quite a bit. How important is that, and how difficult is that during a season to make sure you're focused on this group, but also setting yourself up for the future? Yeah,
it's everything. I mean, it's recruiting, I'm sure, as they'll tell you in football, is such a big priority. I think Coach Menino's only been at 2 games this whole second half, and I don't know how many he's been at the first half, and I think our staff only missed 3 games total last year of not being at the game, so it's it's I told Coach Menino the other day, he's just as important as the guy on the bench, that he's out there grinding and working and recruiting, and we're behind the 8 ball with recruiting, and it's nowadays it's a 3-4 year window, so it's tough to make that up overnight, but we're doing a great job, and we're getting a lot of kids in here, exposing a lot of kids to Omaha, and I think that's half the battle, getting them to see what we have here and getting people through the doors and on campus, and that just involves a lot of work, but it's been it's a process that's starting, and so we got to keep that going and just kind of chipping away a little bit at that, and he's been a great, Pete's been a great, kind of been our road warrior for us there, and helping get recruits to the door here, and then also obviously Coach Mel Bernier is doing a lot of that as well, and myself, like I said, on Sunday we have a recruit on campus here, so it's something that when you eventually get to a point like some of these top schools like St. Cloud and these guys that are so well recruited, that you're just now you're just picky on who you want to bring in and what you want to do, but you got to get to that point first, and you're starting to. The good thing is we're starting to see the level in the Denvers and in the St. Clouds and the North Dakotas and the Duluths, and I mean Duluth's got 5 guys at the World Junior Championship. St. Cloud's got an Olympian, and world junior player, and then the NCHC leading point getter on defense. So those are good hockey players, and so it's it just goes to show the level you got to get to as a program to have a chance to compete with those teams routinely. And we're in the process of establishing that and getting involved in that, and it takes time though. It takes time, and you got to do it the right way, and you got to get the right kids, and you don't want to just recruit the the most skilled kids out there. You got to make sure their character and work ethic and all that stuff pans out and matches your culture, and so it's a long process, but it also gets exciting when you get to land some great kids that hopefully we can get in this program.
Do you look at, you talked about the window and guys going through the USHL and all the juniors and all that. Do you change your philosophies at all when you come in? I mean, you're competitive, you want to win now. Do you look at more, hey, let's try to get this kid right out of high school to just start up? I mean, Josh Archibald was a guy a few years before you were here, but that kind of did that out of Brainerd.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look at emphasizing that versus guys going through juniors, or I guess what's kind of your philosophy with that stuff?
Yeah, you know what, we were talking about that as a staff the other day. That's that when you don't have a lot of recruits stockpiled, so to speak, that you have that decision if, hey, do you bring a guy in a little bit early, or do you let him play one more year at junior? And so that's kind of that's the kind of give and take a little bit. You got to figure out where they're at and where they're at with their strength and development wise, and some of the top programs I think are pretty choosy on when guys come in and things like that. And the one thing that we sell to recruits here is we have opportunity. There's opportunity to come in with the number of players we're losing and recruits that we have. There's an opportunity here to earn a spot right away. So again, we just have to use our judgment on that and then see what we have too. See what's available for us, and we might kind of maybe have to bring in a couple of guys maybe earlier than we want to bring them in, but that's just the way it goes. But it's it depends. It's per player kind of thing, and try to let that happen organically a little bit, where you don't want to rush a kid that's not ready, but also if you have a need, you have a need kind of thing. Yeah.